What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track, back from a rather long hiatus. I'm doing this on a new computer. The video looks okay. I mean, maybe it's the lighting, but I feel like I look a little different. But that's okay. Because yeah, I got a new computer. That was one of the issues of why I haven't been uploading in a while. Obviously, took a little break after the NASCAR season ended, of course, but yeah, then had some computer troubles, so had to get some stuff in order to get a new computer. But I'm happy with what I got. I'm excited to make new content for you guys on this channel, through this computer. So yeah, I mean, at this point, it's Monday, December 23rd. So we're 2 days prior to Christmas, and we're about a little less than 2 months prior to the great American race that is the Daytona 500. I already got my plane tickets, so I'll be back at Daytona for the third year in a row now, which is going to be awesome. I'm excited to get back to Daytona. I think this is the first time where I'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the hope is I can catch everything. That's the hope. Fingers crossed that the weather stays good, but I won't delay any longer. The purpose of making this video is just to give you some content. And today I am going to be talking about five dark horse playoff contenders that I think can lock themselves into the playoffs, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs in 2025. So, without further ado, again, appreciate you guys sticking with me. Hope you're excited to just get some new content from me as we wait for the betting shows that will be back for the Clash. So let's do some fun stuff. Here we go. So five dark horse playoff contenders. I'm going to start with the one that I feel like I'm the most confident about. These are guys that either actually none of them have ever made the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. So these are five guys that have never made the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Now, I would have opened this to maybe some guys that didn't make it last year. Let's take the name Kyle Busch, for instance, but I don't consider Kyle Busch a dark horse. I think he is more than capable, and a lot of people think he's, more than capable to go out and win one, if not multiple races. So I don't really consider him a dark horse. I just consider him a guy that had an up and down year last year. Obviously, got a lot better towards the end of the season. But these guys are really true, in my opinion, dark horse contenders. So I'm going to start with Shane Van Gisbergen, SVG, driving the number 88 Chevy for Trackhouse next year. First full-time season in the Cup Series for SVG. Look, plain and simple, the guy wins races. He wins races. He won the Chicago Street Race 2 seasons ago. Obviously, wasn't full time. It was his first ever career Cup Series race. He goes in, he wins it. Yes, it was in the rain. Yes, it was the first time, but he did that. And, we saw what he did in the Xfinity Series last year, winning multiple races to get into the playoffs, multiple road course races, which is where he can make his name in the Cup Series. I look at that Mexico City race in June, I believe. I think that's one that he can go in and win. Couple that with Watkins Glen, which, he finished second and was leading on the last lap with Chris Buescher. He can win that race, right? He can win multiple races in the Cup Series, in the road course, or in road course equipment. So I think SVG is a guy that I would not be shocked if he locks himself in early with maybe like the first or second road course race of the season. He's going to struggle on a lot of the ovals, but I still think like he showed signs last year that he can be pretty competitive. On the mile and a halfs, and of course some of those shorter tracks. And honestly, he actually had some good results as well at Daytona and Talladega. Third at Atlanta, 12th at Daytona. Where else? He had a good run, I think, at one of the Talladega races, maybe not. But anyway, 12th at Daytona, third at Atlanta. So he can also do it on the super speedways. But you look at his Xfinity Series schedule last year: one at Portland, one at Sonoma, one at Chicago. That was three wins in a matter of six races. Fourth at Indy, fifth at the Glen, third at the Roval. So it just goes to show how good he can be. At these road courses. And then you take the Cup Series last year: second at the Glen, seventh at the Roval, and like I mentioned in 2023 when he won Chicago. So SVG to me is a guy that I really see in the playoffs, and I think when the betting lines come out of people that make the playoffs, if he's plus money, I'm going to take that bet because I think he wins Mexico City. So that's number one. Number two, I'm going to go to the NASCAR Cup Series Rookie of the Year in 2024, Carson Hocevar. And the questions I had with Carson Hocevar was, can he get better as the season goes on? He did. From race 15 on, he had only five finishes outside of the top 20, and he finished the year in 21st in points. Best ever for a Spire car. So that was a question, right? Can he get better as the season goes on? Yes. And can he stay out of trouble, right? That was the thing with him in the Truck Series race. He did not make a lot of friends, made quite a few enemies, right? But he stayed out of trouble. He was pretty clean. Yeah, there was some, dust ups here and there throughout the season. But his name wasn't one, I feel like, that came up quite a bit of, hey, we can't race with this guy, or we're going to wreck this guy, or we're going to race this guy hard. There, again, yes, certain points of the season that happened. But overall, Carson Hocevar was pretty clean last year, and I think that helped him. So, he won Rookie of the Year going up against an SHR car with Josh Berry and a very talented young driver in Zane Smith, who didn't show us everything he had in his rookie year. But Carson Hocevar, I'm going to say it again, from race 15 on, he only had five finishes outside of the top 20 and finished the year 21st in points for a Spire car. Carson Hocevar, yes, there's something called a sophomore slump, which we sort of saw from Ty Gibbs. But I mean, I just look at this kid. He's talented. He's at a franchise, or a race team rather, that wants to get better. And you see them, bring a guy like Michael McDowell in, young talent like Justin Haley, coupling him with Rodney Childers. So they want to get better. Carson Hocevar has a good chance to make the playoffs next year. Number three, Ryan Preece. I'm not going to take much time on this guy, but he's a guy that I believe in. He's from New England, Connecticut, born and raised. He's had success when you give him good equipment. So you look at JGR in the Xfinity series when he had a couple one-offs there. He won. DGR in the trucks. He wins back-to-back years in Nashville. So, now at RFK, third car, a team that wants to build, like I just mentioned with Spire, RFK wants to build. They want to get better. They've got the third car. Preece will be driving it. You look at Brad Keselowski. You look at Chris Buescher. Buescher really came out of nowhere. I think he was in that kind of Preece category of like, is this guy any good? Can he be that, that guy? And Chris Buescher has won races now 2 years in a row. So I think Ryan Preece can get in, show success in a Ford team that believes in him. I look at Richmond, Martinsville, Bristol, New Hampshire. He's really good at super speedways, one of the best average finishes in the next gen car at super speedways. I think he can win any of those races, and I like Ryan Preece to make it a big stride and possibly make the playoffs. Number four, Josh Berry, working with Ford, essentially being a fourth Penske car. And I know this is a team that struggled mightily recently, but Josh Berry, most talented and ready driver they've had in this car since Ryan Blaney. No disrespect to Matty D, no disrespect to Harrison Burton, but in my opinion, he just is. He's mature. He's waited his turn. He's grinded the right way. So I feel like this is a match made in heaven for the Wood brothers. We saw flashes of what Josh Berry can do. In the Cup Series last year at the short tracks. Remember that Bristol race? He was right there. Richmond, he had a good car. Even his first year with when he did some one-offs when Chase Elliott was hurt, right? For Hendrick, he finished second, early on. So I like Josh Berry in that fourth Penske car to really make a stride and help with Wood Brothers Racing. And look, Wood Brothers Racing made the playoffs last year. Yes, it was a shock win at a super speedway, but they still did that. So, it shows that like just last year they were in the playoffs and now they're getting a super talented, mature driver who I think is going to show a lot more consistency than Harrison Burton ever did. I think he's going to be more of that Matty D, like a lot of top 15s. But I think Josh has the capability to win a race. Number five, final one, Riley Herbst. And to be honest with you, I don't know what to expect from Riley Herbst. I feel like nobody does, but I know a few things, right? Here's a few things about Riley Herbst in 2311. 2311 continues to get better and better every year. Riley Herbst is coming off his best season in the Xfinity Series of his career. He's got great partners like Monster Energy who believe in him, and he's got an owner in Denny Hamlin who believes in him. So I think if you put a guy like that, talented, organization has trust in him, good partners. You put him in a 2311 Toyota. I think he can go do some damage. I really do. I know he's a guy that a lot of people have had doubts upon, right? Can he win? Well, he's done it now. He's won 2 years in a row in the Xfinity Series, and I think he's only getting faster. And in flashes in the Cup Series, he's actually been pretty good. Like he's had some good results with Rick Ware Racing at super speedways. So I would not be shocked if Riley Herbst maybe gets a super speedway race win, or even like Kansas. We see him come out of nowhere where we know 2311 has always been good. Vegas is another place where Riley Herbst has been good in the Xfinity Series career. He's from there. And, we know how good those cars are on mile and a half. Really, any Toyota you put on a mile and a half, they're going to be pretty darn good. So Riley Herbst is another guy. Don't count him out because you put him in a 2311 Toyota, that could be dangerous in my opinion. So, five guys, SVG, Carson Hocevar, Ryan Preece, Josh Berry, and Riley Herbst are my five dark horse playoff contenders for 2025 in the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Thank you guys for watching. Want to know what you guys think are your dark horse contenders. So put those in the comment section below. Give this video a like. It goes a long way for the channel. If you're a first time watcher or viewer, definitely hit that subscribe button down low for more content. Thanks for watching. Everybody have a happy holiday, and we'll see you soon.